Is it on? Is it late at night? Oh, I should cover up. What am I doing out of bed so late at night? I was thinking in my bed. I keep thinking about pie, and I only did one video today, and there's so much work, and there's so many things to do. I even found the dagger that they stabbed the vampires with. I even found out how it was created, and where it comes from, and the numbers that come with it. What I want to talk about right now is pi, 3.1415, or in another way you can say it, Scion. You've heard of Zion and S-C-I-O-N. Well, this is the reason. Listen to pi. The third letter is the C. The dot is the dot on the I. And on your typewriter, okay, on your typewriter, if I can get this out of here, okay, there's the dot right over here. And here's the 9. Okay, so the dot on the I. So it would be C, the dot on the I for I, and then 1415. The 14th letter is O, and the 15th letter, the 14th letter is N, and the 15th letter is O. Okay, so it says Sino, which means 100 in French. If you reverse it, it's Zion. Yes, I know I reverse everything, and I put it this way, and I put it that way, because, listen to this. Somebody ships you material. They have it in their hand, the writing is towards them, and it says your name on it. But when you bend the box over and look at it, the writing is upside down to you, because you're on the other side. You're behind them, beside him, above him, and below him. I mean, our feet stop at the ground. So when you see a rainbow on any of cards or windows, when you see a rainbow, it means you're going over from the earth, around your head and down back to the earth, because we're grounded into the earth, as well as the sun. All the designs, like the Pontiac sign that is inside, the pentagram that is created with a Pontiac sign, which is an indented triangle, and it's a little extended. The way it gets extended, the Pontiac side, is they make a triangle, okay, 3 by 6, an elongated triangle. They make it perfect to follow the lines and the squares. Okay, so they make a triangle, and what they do is they flip over the triangle, and they'll put the point at the highest point up there. Then they'll go ahead and drag a line from one end of this triangle at the bottom and one end to the other end, and then remove the triangle, and you have an empty space. So it's done like that. They have to build one piece at a time. I mean, there's so many things. The one always ends up in the middle between something. Or what you will create is you'll put a 1 on a line here, but if you have to put something in between something on a line, it's going to come in between the line. So it's no longer the same. So every time you start, okay, I mean, what seems to be the center is no longer the center. I mean, like if you say the equator, you just can't draw a line on the equator. You have to draw a line 5 degrees above, 5 degrees below, remove the whole strip, and that empty space, okay, happens to be the 2.5 degrees, the 5 degrees above and the 5 degrees below of that equator, of that thing. And how can I say this? And also the letter I. What's the question on the letter I? Because we can find, if anybody's interested, where does the dot come from? What is the value of that dot? Well, most likely it has to do with either alpha, number 5, number 14, number 23, or number 32. Or it has to do with the beta dot. Why does it have to do with the beta dot? Because in 2, 4, 6, and 8, there's an empty spot in the middle on roulette, and that would be the red 5. Everything else is black. Not only that, number 7 and number 1. Somebody once showed me from Tunisia that the 1 and the 7 almost had the same slant, except it was missing. It's funny because the design, okay, of a 22.5, is it a 45 degree? Yeah, a straight back line and a 45 degree in its own angle creates the one-sided ace. It's hard to describe. How can I describe it? There's just so much just so much. What I found out today is the Magen David fits into everything and creates the game. But at the end of everything, everything looks like X's and O's because it's just the cell and the energy being brought to you. And this whole world is X's and O's all over this place. Tick, tack, toe, 10, 20, 30. And now we go through the two world because now we had Trinity because we added the Spirit. Now what did we get out of Trinity? 10, 20, 30? What did we get out of 10, 20, 30? We got 40 and 50, F and F. 40 and 50. And where the short arm comes from, okay, on the F, is that it's slanted like this. The part of the triangle is slanted like this. And then one of the extensions goes across. Before it gets to the point and down, okay, it goes to here. It stops before it gets to the point because there's a bar that crosses the top. That'll be the long ends, okay, of the F letter. And then in the center again to connect, when you have to connect the 5 in the middle from a black, from 4 to 5 through 6, it'll connect over here. So you have the short end because it has to stop at the 5. The 5 is in the middle, so it stops in the middle. The second thing is this arm and the middle arm is also, and can be also, the same length. It's the angle that shows this arm ahead of this arm. When it's this arm and this arm are actually the same length. It's the beta world. There is just so much. They're definitely, either I'm the smartest guy in this world, okay, and that's highly impossible, or there's a God and he made it that easy that for a guy like me who has bipolar disorder was able to go in and unknit and untie and retie and reorganize and rip out and tear apart anything that I could. If you had a lemon and you rolled the lemon, because of the extension of the two sides of the lemon, of the two eyes of the lemon, okay, and that counts for 2, okay, it'll keep the lemon rolling straight. The lime, well, it'll tilt a little bit. But imagine throwing a pear, it's going to like turn around in a circle because it's bottom heavy, a pear. Like all our fruits and vegetables, even our animals. What was the last time? Okay, let's see this. Okay, I got something. Can anybody imitate a talking ant? Can anybody imitate a horse? Nah. A pig? Oink oink. A chicken? A duck? But if you tell us about a fly, we go buzz buzz. What do we say about a fish? We make fun of its bubbles. But we're no different from the fish. I mean, the last time I saw a snake tell the bear to get out of the cave, never happened. How many wars have you seen? Okay? How many wars are actually in the jungle? Where someone gets put in jail. I mean, at the end of the war in the jungle, they're dead, they're eaten, they're gone. I mean, in this world, they lock them up, they make them worse than they were to start with. You want to hurt somebody, you take away their money and keep them away for wherever there is money. Okay? Or you want to make somebody safe, sometimes give them more money. Maybe they'll shut up and go away. Fruits and vegetables. Look at a cucumber. What can you do with a cucumber? Have you ever thought what these lips are for? Take a look the way these lips go. If a woman would walk up to me right now, okay, with her hips right here in my face, her lips and my lips would make the cross. And that cross, my friend, is what connects the 2, 4, 6, and 8 with the 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. It's that 5 bonus dickhead downstairs, okay, which ends up to be the 5 post. And it goes into the 5 hole. The 5 post goes into the 5 hole. Isn't that the way it works? I know I'm making a little bit of fun of this, but I'm really serious. There is something more out there. There for sure is a God. Somehow this, like I said, we are living in a ship. And the ship is moving. And not only is the ship moving, but we're moving from within the ship. We're moving around for certain reasons. The oil that we have, all supplied. Can it run out? Yes. Can we refurbish it? Yes. Is there anything else but oil? Yes. There's a lot of things. Don't forget. Okay? Look at us. Look at the size of us. We're no more than this big. Hello, you see the size? We're no more than the size of my fingernail. That's it. The body carries and nourishes so that the brain can think. It's all about the brain. But if you don't have the body living somewhere, they'll call you a bum. Your brain's okay, but now you're a bum. And it's hard for your brain to get along in society because you don't look like everybody else. Although your brain is just like everybody else, and your brain doesn't weigh more than anywhere than a point something of a gram, because we don't need any more. It hooks up in here. What you think your whole brain is in here, our whole brain isn't in our head. Are you kidding? It's impossible to have the whole brain in one head. We have what they call the brain in our head, but that's not the main brain. It's impossible, because in my toilet, right, I got to get water from the city, otherwise I got no water in my toilet. And then they fill up the water in the back. Hey, all in advance, right? They bring it in advance. That's what our major thing is of the brain, to remember the 10% that we need to remember. Our brain isn't even around here. We have a memory bank, okay, which I believe is in our two nuts and our, okay? That's where I believe man's memory bank is, in his two nuts, okay? That's why when you have sex and let it all out, it all feels a lot better, because part of our energy is in our nuts, you know? That's the way it is. Man has no brains. We have no brains. We are connected to an energy element cell and can be transferred over into any animal of any sort. And death will be departed, because the animal dies, he comes back. He has the energy cell of the brain that is put into the animal, but the rest of it is borrowed from the beta world. It's the earth. God drops his water on the earth, mixes the seed that he created, and voila, fill up an envelope. What do we put in the envelope? Well, you know what? Let's put a Jew in an envelope. What do we call the Jew? Call him Raphael. Does he have a nickname? Yeah, it's MrTacpans. Okay, fill her up. So they fill up the body while it's in your mother, in her belly. It's not in her belly, okay, because the baby is actually in a water sac. And the water sac is behind the curtain of her stomach, which they call the belly. Okay, now what the hell happens with everything else? Where does everything go in our stomach when a woman gets pregnant? I mean, how does it separate the two walls? You got the child on the outside, and then you got the hunger wall on the inside. Who goes where? Does the eating part stomach go on the outside to protect the child further on the inside? That's what it must do. Where does the child grow on which part of the stomach? In the front of it or in between it? I mean, probably have to go in between it, because if he does grow in between it, well, actually that would be pretty difficult. But if he did, okay, that would actually create a pyramid. Anyways, are we talking about any fruits? Yes. Imagine, okay, an apple. Okay, an orange has the best roll. A pear's a little wobbly, okay, but an apple, it can sit on its face down, or it can stand up on its ass. An apple. So you ask yourself, the Big Apple of New York and this world, who can sit as well on the South Pole as the North Pole, as the Mayans predict that we're in for a spin. So the apple represents the world. And the way the world turns is represented by the orange, and the way the world turns around the sun is the orange. It's the orange sun. Raphael 7286, on behalf of MrTacpans and Pegasus in the constellation of 7286. There's a lot of new numbers that have come up for pi. One of the numbers for pi off the top of my head is 46362. That would bring it to a one spirit world. Now, if you want to bring it to a 1010 world with corners, I can shrink, okay, the round part of pi, okay, into a cube. Without any mathematics that they would use, I can calculate the difference of the space. I mean, it's easy. It's 7 or it's 10. You know, in blackjack, they say I stop on 17. The reason they stop on 17, okay, because it's 7 and 10. When you take a dice out, the opposite sides are 7, and all the opposite factors of each part of the dice into the 10-10 world would be like a 6 would be an 8. Because you're playing with 2 dice now. I forgot about that. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're playing with 2 dice. Now I don't know where I was. It's a shame because I'm not going back, and I do care, but you know what? Lately I'm trying to do the best that I can and move on to the next one. What I forget, I forget. And what I remember, I remember. I'm not going to break my head because, like I said, what you're trying to remember is hard to remember because it's not in your head here. It's in the memory bank system. You have to relocate the memory bank system and connect with it, okay, in order to have the information, the small storage we have in our memory bank, which would be, what's 10 gig? I don't think we have that big memory bank. That would be insane. Like, you know what, the best thing? I can remember 2 things. 0 is in this middle. It's a hole. They usually call it a black hole. A hole is usually the center of everything because that's the way it sounds like. At the same time, when it's in the center, it's also known as the 5 hole. When it's in the center, since it's the 5 hole, the 10-10 would be 5, but the 7 would be 2, which would make it 2-5. And then we question the angle to the east of the 2 is 4. So the 10-10 to the 4 would be 6. So that would be 2-5, 6, 2-5. Because we do not count the 4 again. The 4, all the numbers, 2, 4, 6, and 8, except for 8, all become 6, 6, 6. Because in the first position, okay, where the 4 is, it's 6 because it's all about man. It's 1 part of man, 2 parts of man, 3 parts of man. The 4th part of man is connected to the heaven in this world, or 4th part of man is connected to heaven, and he's now an angel in the other world. Anyways, Raphael 7286. Too bad I can't remember everything I say, and my cats have somehow pulled out my plug for my mouse, so I won't be able to shut off this video right now. I gotta figure out how to get it back in. Okay, there we go. I did it. I didn't show my ass, did I? Because I'm stark naked, and I didn't want to say that because I just jumped out of bed. I had something to say. It's 5:02 in the morning. Good morning. Just waking up and watching me? Oh, you're retarded. Good move. Good move. We can't do this alone, and I can't do this alone. Okay? I'm still, what is my goal? One of my goals is to somehow be able to set up a group and work together with others, or go to school and try to learn a little bit more into, what do they call it? Kabbalah or something. But all in all, my goal is never to stop. Never say never. Raphael 7026 in the constellation of Pegasus, Dragon Ball Z, and my buddy behind me, the dragon. We bid you a good day and well to be. Thank you. In the right of liberty. In the right of liberty.